Welcome to Kaumudy Global. It seems neither Russia nor Ukraine rulers are keen on ending the ongoing war between their countries. The countries are suffering, their people are suffering, but these sufferings are falling on deaf ears. On Wednesday, NATO and Russia's military allies staged planned annual nuclear exercises as the Russian president repeated the unfounded claim that Ukraine plans to set off radioactive dirty bomb. Now let us see what a dirty bomb is. A dirty bomb contains conventional explosives like dynamite and radioactive materials such as uranium, which makes them cheaper and easier to transport when compared with the nuclear weapons. When exploded, the material inside the bomb is scattered through the air. Although dangerous, it is not as destructive as a nuclear bomb. Why is dirty bomb used? The intention of the dirty bomb is to cause panic and fear among public rather than actual physical damage. Hence, it is also usually referred to as a weapon of mass disruption as opposed to a weapon of mass destruction, which is the case for nuclear explosions. Dirty bomb is a psychological weapon. The scattered material after an explosion depends on many other factors such as wind at the time of blast. The radioactive spread, if inhaled near the blast, could be somewhat dangerous. Previously, there is no record of successful dirty bomb explosion anywhere in the world. However, multiple attempts have failed. Russian President Vladimir Putin remotely monitored the drills of his strategic nuclear forces, which involved multiple practice launches of ballistic and cruise missiles in a show of force. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu reported to Putin that the exercise simulated a massive nuclear strike retaliating for a nuclear attack on Russia. The Biden administration said Russia provided advance notice of the annual drills and NATO is carrying out its own long-planned annual nuclear exercises in northwestern Europe. Without providing any evidence, in remarks carried by Russian TV, Putin said Ukraine plans to use a so-called dirty bomb as a provocation and contended the United States was using Ukraine as a battering ram against Russia and its regional allies, turning the country into a testing ground for military biological experiments. It was the first time Putin himself made the unsubstantiated dirty bomb allegation, which his officials have been repeating since last week. Ukraine and its Western allies have denied the claims and condemned that Russia, facing setbacks on the battlefield, might itself try to detonate a dirty bomb to sow terror or go further and tap its vast nuclear weapon arsenal. Shoigu on Wednesday called his counterparts from India and China to share Moscow's concern about possible Ukrainian provocations involving a dirty bomb. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg called Russia's unsubstantiated statements absurd. Allies reject this blatantly false accusation, and Russia must not use false pretexts to escalate the war further, Stoltenberg told reporters at NATO headquarters in Brussels on Wednesday. He underlined that the 30-nation military organization will not be intimidated or deterred from supporting Ukraine's right to self-defense for as long as it takes. Despite the Western dismissals, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov insisted that Moscow had information about an ongoing preparation in Ukraine for such a terror attack. Slovenia's government said Russia has been engaging in a disinformation campaign about the dirty bombs using a 2010 photo from the European Union country's Agency for Radioactive Waste titled Ukraine's Capacities to Create the Dirty Bomb. The photo shows bags containing smoke detectors bearing inscriptions in Slovenian reading radioactivino or radioactive. The Slovenian government says the detectors contain a radioactive source, but it isn't one of those listed below the photo in the Russian Foreign Ministry release. Slovenia's government said on Twitter that its radioactive waste is stored safely and is not used for dirty bombs. While continuing to issue unsubstantiated claims that Ukraine is planning provocations, Putin also is still sending signals that he is open to negotiations with Kyiv. The latest message came via Umaro Mokhtar Sissoko Embalo, President of Guinea-Bissau, who visited Kyiv to meet with President Volodymyr Zelensky. At a press conference, Zelensky responded that a prerequisite for talks would be Russia's recognition of Ukraine's territory, borders, and sovereignty. The two sides have managed limited cooperation on certain issues, such as the exchange of prisoners of war and repatriation of remains. Now, what is happening on the battlefront? On the battlefront, Ukrainian officials said fighting in more than 40 villages killed at least 2 civilians and sustained the terror that forces people into air raid shelters each night. By the way, India's Defense Minister Rajnath Singh on Wednesday told his Russian counterpart Sergei Shoigu that the nuclear option should not be resorted to by any side involved in the Ukraine conflict, and the crisis should be resolved through dialogue and diplomacy. Singh's comments that the nuclear option should not be resorted to is a message to Russia as well as Western powers backing Ukraine, people familiar with the matter said. It may be noted that Ukraine does not have any nuclear arsenal.